I know.
Yeah, don't do that. Hey, everybody. Jay Real here with my buddy Brandon. I haven't done a show with Brandon in quite a while. It's been a few months since I've done a show with Brandon, and nice to have him back. And gosh, it is hot here in Texas. It's in the 80s, and then tomorrow they're talking like the world's coming to an end because there's a big cold front coming in tomorrow evening, and along with that, 40, 50, 55 mile per hour wind gusts. They're saying, there's a wind advisory, and it's supposed to get cold as hell Sunday night. It's supposed to get like in the 30s, and but like 90 degrees during the daytime and 30 degrees during the nighttime. We have the craziest fucking weather in the world in Texas. Um, so, and it's supposed to be just like a one day. Monday's not supposed to get out the 50s, and then it's just then from there it'll get in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and shit. So, yeah, but we're gonna have a crazy couple of days, Sunday and Monday. Supposed to.
Yeah, the climate's definitely changing. It's like we have weird where it's gonna wind chill of 20 degrees. So
But we'll eventually catch up to Rob Reiner, but we've got a lot to talk about first. We've got 3 movies to talk about. And first, Brandon, there's someone you wanted to talk about that has a that you to donate to it, like a GoFundMe.
yeah, so I like to do karaoke at the bar in West, and the guy who used to do it, dude had real bad luck. He had a stroke, and not only did he have a stroke, but he ended up having to get some of his toes amputated on both feet. So he's out of work, and so if anyone could donate, anything helps that way because he can't work. So any little bit helps. We're not the most tech savvy people here, so I just put the link kind of where my name usually is. So, yeah, if anybody wants to donate, he's a real cool dude, real nice guy, and yeah, man, it just sucks that has to happen. So if anyone wants to donate, that'll be good. Kind of
Well,
help him out a little bit.
uh, it's Anthony Pacina. Let me show the link there. Hang on, what's it
Yeah,
called? Yeah, let me. And yeah, Anthony Pacina. You go to GoFundMe if you want to donate, and but definitely.
yeah. Any little bit helps. So in this economy, man, you don't want to be out of work. So the guy can't work, so it'll be
Well,
good to
hell,
help him out some.
$5. Everything adds up.
Yeah,
So
everything adds up. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I couldn't imagine having a stroke and then end up having to get your toes amputated on both feet. So,
yeah.
yeah, sucks. But yeah,
Uh,
he's a good dude, man. And when he gets back on his feet and stuff, hopefully he'll be able to go back to doing the karaoke and DJ and stuff that he used to do because he's a really good karaoke guy. Very good dude.
I want to do that sometime with you, karaoke. Uh,
Yeah, we'll have to a day that I'm off on a Wednesday. They do it on Wednesdays, and I think every third Saturday.
and this is Brandon got this for me a few weeks ago. It's Symphonic Chronic. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's an IPA, whatever that is.
Indian Pale Ale,
Double bank.
double
Uh,
9% alcohol.
double dank. Yeah, double dank. Symphonic Chronic. And
I don't know if it has THC or anything in it, but I don't know. It's called Chronic, so
yeah,
you're gonna
Symphonic
get tore
Chronic.
up.
But before I taste it here, exactly what is an IPA?
It's an Indian Pale Ale. These goddamn trains. I don't know. Can you hear the train? I live by the train station. I always yell
Oh,
at
I'm hearing
them.
my damn. I got my fans cranked up, so that's all I'm hearing.
Yeah, I yell at the trains and I chase them. I'm surprised they ain't called the law on me or anything. But yeah, it's an Indian Pale Ale, so it's going to be very bitter and kind of like a grapefruit citrusy taste.
Huh. Well,
And I have to
let's
work
try it.
tomorrow, so I'm drinking Bush Light.
Okay, Symphonic Chronic. Ooh, that's a weird flavor. It 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 doesn't have the fullness of like a German beer. It has a sort of a light flavor, but like I say, bitter. It's very bitter. But it's a interesting flavor. It's hard to describe. Um,
Yeah, they're very. It took me a while to get into IPAs because man, like it's one of the ones I had was so bitter. I was like, woo.
it isn't unpleasantly bitter. It is bitter, but yeah, and there is kind of like you say, kind of a sweetness in the background. Uh, hmm.
Oh.
Symphonic Chronic. So
Yeah, those are the beers that you really you have to watch because a lot of them craft beers are so dang high in alcohol that you gotta you don't want to get too tore up on them, you know.
well, I just I've got a few more, but I'll wait and see how I feel after the Symphonic
Not
Chronic.
like that moonshine where you drink the whole damn
Oh
jar and
my
you're like,
God,
oh,
yeah.
fuck.
That was probably the drunkest I've ever been in my whole life.
I
It's
was worried about you because I didn't hear about you for a while. I'm like, damn, I wonder if he got alcohol poisoning and died.
well, no, but after I finished that, when I finished the show, and of course I shut down the laptop and all that, and I have to stand up because I had to pee so bad. And when I stood up, I had to sit immediately back down. I mean, my legs would not support me, and to get from here to the damn toilet was like, I'm just not going to make it. I was like, I can't. My fucking legs aren't going to function. I finally was able to do it, but good God, I
I
was
told you
so
not to drink
badly.
the whole jar.
Well, it was so sweet, and it didn't taste. I barely tasted any alcohol. It was just. It was like drinking a a damn smoothie or something. You know, it was very sweet. Um, yeah. Lesson learned, though. I should have drank at most like half of that. uh, but yeah,
Yeah, I figured that would have been. I knew it tasted good, you know, because the other one I bought was. I went to Specs and I bought some of that stuff. The other one I bought was clear and it was 100 proof. It was like aged for 30 seconds on the jar. It was like 100 proof, and it was pretty it was pretty strong too. But I have a wisdom tooth that needs to be taken out, and that's why I
I
got
do
that
too.
that time. I was like, I'm gonna booze it up to kill the pain, and it fucking worked.
I do too. I have a wisdom tooth here.
Also,
This one is gone, but the one I got one here that needs to go. It doesn't always
also
hurt,
not to
but when it decides to
not,
hurt, it fucking hurts.
yeah, not to bring down the mood, but Sassafras, who we've seen on the past shows, has passed away
Well, I was
at the
going to bring
ripe
up
age of
Sassafras. Yeah, if
15.
you guys watch regularly, if you watch the shows, several times you've seen Brandon show a cat that has like a little mustache, you know, uh, and
I think it looked like Groucho Marx. Other people said it looked like Hitler.
uh, but Sassafras passed away, and so let's give let's salute Sassafras because we're gonna miss Sassafras because it was. I love watching Sassafras. I'm sorry I didn't get to pet Sassafras, but I'm so sorry to hear that. And I
Yeah,
didn't know
Sassafras, but she
I didn't
lived
know
a
that she I didn't know she was that old. You know, you said she's about 15,
yeah,
16.
she was born in either 2011 or 2012. I can't remember. So that would make her about 15 or 16. You know, when they get that old, you know, one day they're fine, and then the next day they, went off on the Rainbow Bridge. You know, shit. I like my animals more than I like most people, so that was hard, you know. But R.I.P. Sassafras.
Yeah, rest in peace,
This
Sassafras.
bush is for you.
Yeah, it had a little. I call it a Charlie Chaplin. It had a Charlie Chaplin mustache, Sassafras.
You know
But
Hitler
yeah,
roinked that. You know Hitler roinked that mustache for everybody.
and of course,
Nobody can wear that shit now.
anyone out there that has pets, it's like a member of the family. It's not just a cat. It's
Yeah,
not just a dog. It's not just a whatever. it's when you lose a pet, it hits you, and
It's
it hit me because I've
it
never
was
met Sassafras. I've only seen him
it,
on the
it
show. But he
it was
hurt.
hard, it was hard, but at least she ain't, she didn't suffer or anything, she just kind of went that way. And she ain't suffering no more. She did get a little sick,
Yeah.
but poor Sassafras with her mustache, everyone thinking she's like Hitler.
Well,
You think they
they're
had
gonna
kids that
they're
changed
gonna
their
miss
name from
they're
Adolf?
gonna miss Sassafras because I always
Yeah,
enjoyed the show
yeah.
Sassafras.
You think when Hitler was doing his stuff that people changed their kid's name from Adolf? They're like, oh shit, we have to change his name. There's dudes shaving off their mustaches or growing
Yeah.
beards or something.
Uh, well, now a few things that before we get to the movies, because we've been going to the movies here lately, me and Brandon, and and because I've said before, there's just nothing that equals that. There's nothing that equals seeing a movie in a theater. Because I stream all my stuff like Brandon, like most people do. I stream stuff. Oh, no, what kitty is that?
This is Twink.
Twink. Hey, Twink.
The fat one's
But
Twinkie. This one's Twink.
nothing equals seeing a movie in a theater. It's just a whole different experience. So, but on my latest thing on Amazon is getting snack food because I get a little money on a food card, and so I'll go to and they accept the Snap card on Amazon. They accept that card, and so I'm looking for snacks and stuff to snack on, because I'm a snacker. I like to snack. But first of all, I got to make sure that I've got a supply of the bomb, and this is double caffeinated coffee pods for the Keurig.
The bomb.
Yeah, the bomb, double caffeinated, and this is a box of 40. And what I do is I drink one pod, and then I drink another one of those pods that you put in. You put in ground coffee in the little pod, and so I just drink one bomb in the morning, and another of just ground coffee.
Does it make you feel jittery, the bomb?
Not really jittery, but it definitely wakes me up. I mean, yeah, I'm ready to
Because
go.
man, my sister, she got me an espresso machine to where like the Nespresso is really strong, like caffeinated coffee. And I thought that shit was gonna kill me the first time I had it. My heart was like
One of the trips to Waco, you gave me it was a coffee like energy drink.
monster. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
coffee. I think it's called Mean Bean. We both
and
had one, and that both made us feel like we are gonna die.
oh my goodness gracious! Oh man, it was really good. The flavor was really good, but man, oh goodness. Uh, and then one of the other things I got was uh, it's 20 bags of chips. And what do you got? You got Chex Mix, we got Bugles, Gardettos. Yeah. So it's chips,
Dude,
bags.
bugles are the shit, man. You
Yeah,
put them on your
Bugles.
fingers, and you
Yeah. Bags. 20 bags of chips, and then I love peanut butter and anything Reese's. I got to get anything that's Reese's. So it's Reese's filled pretzels.
oh hell yeah,
Reese's filled pretzels. Peanut butter filled pretzels. Yeah. Yeah.
dude. I
I
bet
haven't
that's
done
the
it yet.
shits right there.
Yeah. Filled pretzels. And then the last thing I got, it's a nut mix called Hunter Mix Nuts. It's peanuts and cashews and almonds and yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna snack my ass off. And uh,
Damn, you gonna have some treats at your symphonic chronic.
but I'm already feeling the symphonic chronic. I'm already feeling it. Okay. Now I'm gonna want you to entertain the crowd because I want to first. I'm going to pop me some popcorn, and I'm going to do a taste test. I'm going to try something that I saw. There's this guy that he's a chef, he's a cook, but he reviews different restaurants and stuff, and he cooks food. And he said you got to try this, and it's ramen popcorn. And I'll show you how that's made. But I've got to pop my popcorn. I'm gonna put that on.
Hell yeah. Man, I remember back when I used to work at Clayton Supply, man. There's this girl, she used to be in jail, and she'd make all kinds of stuff out of ramen noodles. And man, I'm telling you, bro, she'd be like, I'm gonna make a pizza. And I'd be like, what the hell? And she'd make like a pizza out of ramen, put pepperoni slices on it and stuff. They'd be making spreads. But poor Luann, they took her away. She went back to prison, but she used to make all them little prison treats and ramen. She'd make anything out of ramen noodles, bro. I was like, what the fuck? She'd be like, I'm gonna make a pizza.
I like ramen, and there's so much you can do with ramen. I usually just eat it just the way it is, but you can get put like a fried egg on top, of ramen. And,
you remember we went to the ramen noodle restaurant and you just took that big old glob of wasabi because you didn't know what it was, and he went.
Okay. I thought it was guacamole. Is what I thought it was. Now I should have known better. I said, well, why would they put guacamole, at a ramen restaurant? Because we ate a couple of times at that. It's a really good place in Waco.
It had we had some sushi and shit too, and I thought you knew what it was, and you took I was like, damn, Jay's tough, and he took a big ass. You're like,
with a fork or spoonful of it, and just ate. And oh my God, my face exploded, and I was snot and tears coming down my face and snot.
You scared them. You scared them cooks. They thought you were probably having a heart attack or something.
Oh my God, yeah! I just did that big old spoonful of that wasabi. Ugh. Oh my God!
You just scooped it up. Like, damn.
I wish you'd have said
something. But there are people who are into that real spicy stuff.
I like spicy stuff, but I don't like it real spicy. I don't, but yeah, I thought it was guacamole. I did. I thought that's what it was.
I can't say nothing. When we went to that Mongolian or Chinese restaurant, they have it to where you put the raw meat on the plate and you take it to the guy to cook. And I didn't know I was like, that shit raw. I didn't know what to do. I was like, is this supposed to be, what? They're like, dumbass. You put it on there and you take it to Mongolian. And he's like, pfft. But yeah,
keep talking to him. I'm monitoring my popcorn here.
Man, it was crazy, man. Yeah, dude, I like to hit up some of them like Asian food places. I like eating the octopus, man. The octopus is really good. But I like it to where they don't chop up the octopuses, because some people chop up the octopuses. I like it to where it's like the octopus is whole. To me, it just tastes better that way. I like it better that way. I like to know that I'm eating an octopus. Excuse me. That's just me personally. Get you a good octopus. I'll tell you what's really good, and I can't really find no one who makes them. There is a place called Hype Miller's. They used to have them on the menu, but it was called calf fries. And it was fried bull testicles. And let me tell you something, man. Them fried bull balls, delicious. I'll tell you, man. Them fried bull testicles, that's some damn good eating right there.
Where can you get them?
They used to sell them at Hype Miller's, but I think they quit. They need to put them bull balls back on there. I'm pretty sure that when we went to that Asian place, like that Mongolian grill, that we ate an animal penis. I'm not sure what it was, but it looked like some kind of cooked animal penis, and it was spongy. I'm pretty sure we ate some kind of animal penis at the Chinese place, or Mongolian, or whatever. It was like Mongolian, Japanese, and something else, Chinese. But it was good, man. It was good food, But I'm pretty sure that was an animal penis, or some kind of animal penis. I think I'd be okay on Fear Factor with some of the stuff that they be making them eat because I eat all kinds of weird stuff, you know. I I eat hog head cheese, uh, or if you want to feel fancy, you can call it souse. I like beef souse, but beef souse is hard to find. Brookshire's used to have the beef souse, but
Okay, what I've got here, I've got it in my popcorn bucket here. All right, I've got popcorn, and I put a little bit of liquid margarine in it, and I'm going to put a ramen packet, and I'm going to sprinkle that on the popcorn. And this is creamy chicken is the flavor. And I've never done this before, but the guy on that YouTube show says, "Well, you got to do this." So
do you ever eat ramen raw? Because I do that sometimes. Like I crunch up the bag and I put the seasoning packet in there and I just eat it
I've
like
never tried
chips.
it.
That's what I do sometimes.
Okay, so I have sprinkled, dropped some on the floor, but I can't find it. But I sprinkled some, or a packet of ramen flavoring, creamy chicken onto the popcorn. And now I'm going to try it. Ramen
Yeah,
popcorn. Ramen popcorn. So let's try that.
yeah, that's how you know you on the chronic, Jay. You be eating popcorn on the chronic. Is it good?
Well, I guess I need to mix it up more. It's not.
Well, dude, the creamy cheese chicken ramen's delicious though.
This is good. This is like something you would almost get in a movie theater or something. That's how good it is.
Hey,
This is the shit, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah. And I'm feeling the symphonic chronicle now, and I'm just like halfway through it, and I got the damn ramen popcorn, creamy chicken.
Yeah, man. That's what we are. Here when we go to the theater, be like, man, y'all need some symphonic chronic and ramen popcorn. They're like, what?
Ramen popcorn. Well, you got to do that. Get just make you some popcorn, but make it fresh popcorn now, uh, and maybe put a little butter on it. I like to get. I got this liquid margarine, that's it's in a spray bottle. I just pour a little bit of that on.
Oh,
And
dude.
get you a ramen packet, flavoring packet, and sprinkle that over the popcorn and mix it up. And it is the absolute shit.
Dude, have you ever done the ramen, not the ramen, but the popcorn seasoning that they sell at like HEB and Walmart? Dude, that's the bomb
I
too.
still had some. I had some. I don't know if I still have it.
But do you want to talk about which one you want to talk about first? Undertone or
Well, let's talk about the first one we saw. And we've been seeing some weird movies, but I think they're fun weird. They're good weird. But the first one we saw here recently was called "Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die," and it's the kind of movie that someone needs to tell you about. It's like, well, you need to see this. It's not something that you're likely to hear about it, but someone will tell you about it. You need to see this movie. Good luck, have fun, don't die. And it's Sam Rockwell, there's a lot of movies I like with Sam Rockwell. And he, at the beginning of the movie, there's this restaurant, little bar, bar and grill, little restaurant. And Sam Rockwell goes into this restaurant. He's covered in plastic, and he's got all this shit all over him. This plastic suit he's wearing. And he says to the crowd, "Look, I'm from the future. The future is fucked. And I've got 6 people in this crowd here that I need to take with me to stop the end of the world." And throughout the movie, you meet these individual people, some of the people in the restaurant, and you get their stories of what they're dealing with. And the world is fucked. Everyone has got all the kids have got their faces in their cell phones. There's this invention where you can basically link your brain to the computer and just live in an AI world. and just live in a computer world. Uh, and because everyone is just reliant on their cell phones and on their on AI and everything. And he says, in the future where I come from, everyone is dying because they're starving to death because they're all hooked up to the computer and they're starving to death. They're just, so I need 6 of you that's going to help me stop. There's this kid that's working on this AI program. We need to stop him from doing what he's doing. And this is like his 117th try. He's tried this 117 times. And he says, look, I've tried this 17 times. It hadn't worked, but I'm back here again. Who wants to volunteer to help me do this? And eventually he gets a group that goes with him. And it's weird, it's wacky, it's funny. It's a kind of movie that, like I say, you need someone to tell you need to check this movie out. It's not a movie you're just likely to run across. But
Yeah,
I quite enjoyed it.
it was a fun time, man, and it's a shame because it didn't do very well. I don't think it did very well at the box office, but at least it took a chance and it was different.
It's definitely
You know,
different. Yeah.
it was funny. It made me laugh. Like the people are like zombies on their phone. And then like since it's AI, there's like this giant cat thing that walks
Well,
around and eats people and shit. And
it's a cat made out of cats.
yeah,
It's a giant cat made out of little cats.
and it pisses confetti on someone before it eats them. And it was, and one of my favorite parts is like there's so many school shootings that they just start cloning the kids.
Now
And there's this one.
That is the only movie that made school shootings funny. And I'm telling you that if you see this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about.
It's like they're like you could clone your kid, but there's an ad version and an ad free. And if you get the ad version, he's like, I want this brand of apple juice. It's only 90 calories and $3.99. It's funny because there's an interracial couple. It's a white lady and a black dude. Like, well, this is our 7th kid that got shot, so we just had to have fun with it.
We're trying something different. We're making him tall. We're making him. It's like, oh, holy shit.
We're gonna make him racist. The lady's like, we made him a little racist. Have a little fun with it.
We made him like, oh fuck tall. We made
fuck tall. Yeah.
And,
made him Muslim.
Because every clone of their kid they made got killed in the school shooting. Their first kid got killed in the school shooting, and all the clones get killed in the school shooting. So when they make a clone of the kid, like the 7th try, they're trying something different. We'll make him tall. We'll make him
Muslim. Make him racist.
But anyway, yeah. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. And when it's streaming, look that up when it streams. I think you'll have fun with it.
Yeah, and then Jay didn't see it, but I saw Scream 7, and it wasn't as bad as everyone says it was. I liked it better than number 6 and number 4 and 3. I think 3 is probably the shittiest out of all of them, but there ain't really much to talk about. You've seen one Scream movie, you've seen them all. The killer reveal kind of sucked, but yeah, it was all right.
And then, hang on, we got someone talking here. Daniel Shine says, shout out, Jay. Good luck. Have fun. Don't Die was a great film. Well, yeah, look that up. Yeah, good luck. Have fun. Don't die. Look that up. But thank you, Daniel. Scream 7's weakest element was the reveal and killer motivation.
I would agree with that. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's one of the killers to where you're like, oh, who the fuck is that? And like, oh, it's that person. And then like they go to a certain location to talk to somebody, and it's a certain actor who always plays creepy people, and you're like, yeah, he's one of the killers. It did some cool stuff with AI though that I liked. That was bringing back dead people, calling Sydney through AI and stuff. But if you could wait for that one at home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I need to catch up because I don't think I've seen. Pardon me. I'm belching symphonic chronic. I don't think I've seen any of them after 3. So I need to go and watch 4, 5, and 6, and then see 7.
Yeah, it's nothing to write home about, you know. I mean, it has the best kills, I think, of the franchise, but to me, it has the best kills, I would say, of the franchise. But that doesn't really mean the ending really took the gas out of me. Because I'll be honest with you, I was watching it, I'm like, damn, I like this. This is pretty good. Then you get the killer reveals, and you're like,
That's, if I'm remembering, that's usually the weakest thing about the Scream movies is the killer reveal.
yeah, but it's weird because the kills are all good. I'm like, man, I'm really vibing with this. I like it. Then you see who the killers are. It's just a big fart. I'm like, damn, that kind of ruined the whole movie. You know, and that's why I don't. I mean, number 3. A lot of people like 3, but I don't know. I mean, I like that it's one killer, but at the same time, it's just that whole. I don't know. That movie just kind of. I don't know. That movie rubs me the wrong way. Scream 3 does. I don't know why. It just does. Yeah. But then
Well,
we saw Undertone, and that was scary as fuck at the end.
Yeah, we'll get to Undertone, but probably one of the most divisive films we saw, where it's one of those movies you either love or hate. The Bride.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I love that movie.
The Bride, and I'm in the love category.
I am too. I loved it.
I don't think it's the greatest movie ever, but I really enjoyed The Bride. And Christian Bale is Frankenstein's monster. Now here's the thing. Let me get her name. The girl that plays the bride.
Dude,
I
loved it.
There's a movie called Hamnet that she's nominated for Best Actress, and everyone is saying she's going to win Best Actress in the Academy Awards this year. And her name is, hang on, Jessie Buckley, that played the bride. And anyway, she's in that movie. I haven't seen Hamnet. I want to see it, but they're saying she's going to win Best Actress for that.
Dude, she should win an Oscar just for the Mary Shelley performance. Dude, she was like Tony Storm on crack. I love that shit.
But anyway, the movie opens with it's in black and white, and it's Mary Shelley, and she's talking to the camera. And she's basically saying, well, look, I wrote this story, the Frankenstein, but you haven't seen nothing yet. And what does she say? You know, get ready for the motherfucking bride. and that's one of the posters is, of course, it has symbols. It doesn't spell it out, but it says, get ready for the motherfucking bride. And so we meet this young girl, really pretty, hot as hell, Jessie Buckley, and she's a prostitute for this mob group. And she's at this party, and she's drunk, and she's acting wild, and she gets possessed by Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley inhabits her body, and she starts saying this wacky shit. I don't remember any of the shit she says. I got to see the movie again. But she says all this wacky shit, and eventually she falls down a flight of stairs, and she breaks her neck, and she dies. Well, then we meet Frankenstein's monster. Christian Bale, has he made a bad movie? Has Christian Bale ever made a bad movie? And Christian Bale is the monster. He's Frankenstein's monster, and he goes to this woman doctor that's been doing like experiments on dead bodies and stuff. And he says to her, look, I've been around for 100 years. I want a partner. I want a significant other. I want a bride. And he talks her into making him a bride. And so they go out digging in the graveyard, and they dig up the body of that girl we meet at the beginning of the movie that's possessed by Mary Shelley. And they revive her as the bride. And all kinds of wacky shit happens from then on. Like I say, it's one of those movies that you're just either going to really fall in love with, or you're just going to despise and think it's just the worst thing you've seen.
It's funny because I heard some people talk about, they try to make the Bride of Frankenstein woke with all the gay stuff, and it's like, well, Bride of Frankenstein, the old one's one of the gayest movies ever made. I mean, everybody on that film was
And
was gay, and there, a lot of the characters are
the
queer
original,
coded.
yeah, like the original, it's queer. It's queer as can be.
And we
And
don't mean that in a bad way. We're not
I
saying
don't mean
queer as
I
a
don't at all
bad.
mean that in a bad way, but it is. It's
It was
very,
a good.
very,
It was
very
funny.
queer.
Like they're at a drag queen bar, and they think the bride's a drag queen. 'Cause her hair's all crazy, and she has this
And
dye on her
she's
face.
got this black dye across her face, and at one point there's a damn dance number, and it's
Oh
the
yeah,
bride.
Christian Bale's like putting on the MF and Ritz, and they're like dancing and shit.
It's the bride and the monster, and they're dancing, and everyone else is dancing in sync with them, and it's this great dance number.
Jake Gyllenhaal's in it too, and he's like held hostage because like the Frankenstein monster's obsessed with him as an actor and go sees all those like
Yeah.
movies and stuff.
But let's see, the Peter Sarsgaard, what was it, the clown and it? Isn't that who that is?
Oh, that's Bill Skarsgård's
No,
the
that's right.
clown.
You're right. That's Bill Skarsgård. But Peter Sarsgaard, Annette Bening plays that doctor. She's really good. Jake.
I like the maid. The maid for the doctor was awesome too.
And Penelope Cruz.
It's a very and some people complained about it being woke too. That it was like I mean, yeah, it's a feminist movie, I guess, in the sense of it's kind of like, but it wasn't preachy. It's just treat women right, and consent. Oh, that's a big part of it. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. That's a good message to have. I thought it was awesome. I liked it.
And nearly every male in this movie tries to rape the bride.
Even the gay dudes.
They all try to fuck her. And of course, Christian Bale stands up and he kills people, to protect the bride.
He crushes that one dude's head. He's like, and they're like Bonnie and Clyde. They're on the run shooting. Yeah, dude. You remember when Christian Bale was like fantasizing about being in the movie, and he's like in black and white with his top hat, like dancing. Dude, I loved it. That might have been the best movie that we've seen, I think, out of all of them.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It's a movie I want to see again. I'm choking on the ramen popcorn.
Yeah, it was good, man. I don't get the hate. I mean, I could see how some people, like I think Cody Leach said he didn't know if it was a masterpiece or a piece of shit. I could kind of see that, but at the same time, I lean on the masterpiece side. I think it's going to be a cult classic in a couple years.
Definitely one I want to see again. I'm choking here. Hang on.
Yeah, man, I liked it. And then
yesterday we saw. Go ahead and say it because I'm choking.
Bro, he'd be drinking the Symphonic Chronic and he'd still be coughing.
It's that popcorn has got me choking.
We saw Undertone, which it's slow burn, but like not exactly in a bad way. There was some points where I was like, we kind of need to speed things up. I was feeling the runtime, but it got really scary at the end. Like I ain't gonna lie, I was like, I'm kind of scared. Like what the hell? Like possession stuff and ghost movies, those are like my bread and butter. I love that stuff. But it got real creepy at the end.
It's my damn throat. It's itchy, and I can't stop. I can't get it to stop. Hang on. I'll say this about Undertone. The
sound design's amazing.
The movie probably didn't cost anything to make because basically it's hang on, let me get.
It's one house.
Let me get some names here.
It takes place all in one house, and there's only like what two people on screen. Everyone else is on the telephone.
Yeah, it's Nina Curie and Adam DeMarco, and we never see Adam DeMarco. We just hear him because she and this other guy have a podcast where they report on basically just weird stuff that happens, weird, just weird goings on. And he has received an email with several audio files that he hasn't listened to yet. He's going to do it on the show, but he says it's a very weird email. It's very cryptic, and it's said listen to these audio files, and throughout the movie, they on their podcast, and she's just sitting there at her laptop, and he's playing these audio files, and it's like backward nursery rhymes and backward and like banging sounds. The speakers really got to work out with the banging sound.
It's like bye bye black sheep,
yeah. and
bye black sheep,
and babies, the sound of a baby crying, and very creepy. It's the sound design in this movie is at the forefront.
And the guy, you kind of get each audio clip where you're watching it. They're trying to figure out what's going on, and she's kind of coloring as the movie goes while she's listening. Now it comes up later, but there's this creepy ass doll, and you eventually do see it because they end up finding the video file. But it's like, I don't want this doll sleeping in bed with me. Oh, it's cute. I like it. And then you see the doll, and you're like, hell no, it's scary looking.
And the girl, and it says, the girl's mother is bedridden. She's slowly dying. She doesn't talk. And so she goes up to take care of her mother and clean her up. And she hasn't eaten anything in 3 or 4 days. And she's just laying in this bed, and she's slowly dying. But that gets incorporated into the film later in the film, her dying mother. But those audio, the audio in this movie is what the movie is all about, is the audio.
Yeah, that's why you need to see it in the theater.
This is a movie that's about sound. And it makes it unique in that case, because most horror movies are what you see, but this movie is what you hear. This movie is mostly about what you're hearing. And there's some of the creepiest fucking things.
You remember that little baby doll? It's like the little baby doll's like,
yeah. This is a sound movie, even though it's visual. It's a sound. Yeah.
Well, the poster when we went to the auditorium, the poster said it's the scariest movie you'll ever hear.
Yeah.
And there's some creepy visuals in it too. Like when you see there's a certain figure that you see in the mirror and in the background, kind of, and it was really good. It wasn't a letdown like that damn Skinamarink was. This one was pretty good. I dug it. But it got real scary at the end, and I kind of wish we had more of that throughout the film. But I dug it. It was fun. It came out on Friday the 13th. We saw it on Friday the 13th. And, but that's one I'd recommend seeing in the theater just because of you want to have a good sound system to really experience it. And also, like, there are some really weird visuals in that movie, too, towards the end. And real creepy backstory on the demonology and what the demon is, and
well, it was a woman that, what was it? She couldn't conceive. She couldn't have babies.
Yeah, and then she ended up like making women miscarried, and so, the King James from the King James Bible hunger.
She came back as an evil spirit that would make women miscarry, and she would kill babies
and possess people.
Yeah, possess people. It's very creepy, but like I say, it's one of those rare movies. It's all about the sound. So, if you can see this in a theater with a really good sound system where they really crank it up, and the banging sounds and the creepy backward nursery rhymes and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude. But that doll, that was so crazy. Like, I understand what that guy did want his wife having that in bed. I would, and then they pull the string and it's like, I can hear that. Like, what?
And the guy that co-hosts the show with her, and at one point he's like, "Look, we should stop. We shouldn't play any more of these. I want to stop." And she's like, "No, well, you're crazy. We've got them hooked. We got to play the rest of it." And well, they shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have played.
And then they have a call with the demons like, "You should have played the last one. That's what she wanted. I'll be free."
But yeah,
But
Undertow.
yeah, dude. Yeah, that's one that I would definitely see. Hopefully, we'll be able to go see Silence of the Lambs. They're going to have an anniversary screening of that. Cinemark advertised it, so they should have it in their theater.
I think you said it's just like 2 days that it's playing.
Yeah, they always do that with the Fathom stuff. But them damn Twilight movies, they show them all year round at multiple show times. So I don't know why something like Silence of the Lambs can't, have a bigger run.
But yeah, three very different movies and good times. I had good times on all of them. Probably the best time I had was at The Bride. Uh,
Yeah. I didn't really know
where
what
it,
to expect either with The Bride. Like I knew kind of what it was, but it was like off the wall crazy. And that's what I liked about it. It took chances.
and I think you said I haven't heard what the reports are, but it hasn't done well in the theaters.
No, it's a big flop. I don't think it made its money back.
And see, that's a shame because movies like this that take chances, do something different, they need to make money for people to make more of them. And if they're going to bomb at the box office, we're going to get just the same old crap.
Well, isn't it kind of like that movie? I think there's a Chris Christopherson film called Heaven's Gate or something that bombed so bad that
Yeah.
studios wouldn't let directors have like be as creative. So like when something like this happens, I can see them saying, "Well, we got to rein it in a little bit," you know, which is a shame.
But we need wacky movies like this. We need movies that take a chance and really go out there. We need movies like The Bride. So,
Or hell,
um,
even like that Undertone, it was
an
different.
undertone,
It
yeah.
was But also the thing with Undertone, and it's the same thing with the Terrifier movies and the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. You don't need a giant budget for these horror movies. Like from what I understand, that movie basically cost nothing. Like it was very
Well,
little money spent.
I imagine Undertone didn't cost hardly anything to make because it's basically just her sitting at her laptop and going up and checking on her mother. But there's hardly anything. Everything's in this house. I don't think there's any scenes outside of the house. It's all in this house.
Nope,
Uh,
it's all in the house, and it's very it's very good though. I know it sounds like that would be boring, but it was actually very good.
hey, sis. Hey, Kathy. Um, but yeah. That kind of movie inspires me because I have a movie that I hope to get made within a year. The List. But a movie like this, like Undertone, inspires me. What can be done with very little money, but creativity with the sound design? What can be
Well,
done? And
I read your screenplay and it's very good, and I had other people who read it that liked it as well. So, and it doesn't seem like you would need a lot of money to do it.
none of my movies cost hardly anything to make. Um, so,
Yeah,
but I need a new laptop for editing. So,
yeah, that's what we're working on
uh,
getting. But it'll I think like once you get everything going, it'll be good. But Hollywood don't have to spend like even that Godzilla -1 that came out. I think that was like very low budget, and it looks better than some of the big budget CGI Marvel movies. So
I really like that. I really like Godzilla
so
Monster.
it's just like you don't really need that much. I don't understand why the budget are so high on some of these movies.
Yeah.
Or like
Uh,
that A24 is doing these TV series with Crystal Lake, and they're going to do one for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they're talking about. He's like, you don't need a big budget for that. I don't know why they have to act like multi-million dollar stuff.
uh, but I guess we'll get to the thumbnail of the show.
Yeah,
I,
bring the
wa- I
mood down a
was
little bit.
I was participating in a show with um, Darren and Dirk on their Subjective Perspective Collective show. I think we were talking about the Omen films. I think when Dirk come on and says, "Look, I just got some news," there's been 2 dead bodies found in a home owned by Rob Reiner. Now, he didn't say it was them that was dead. He just said it was 2 dead bodies found in a home owned by Rob Reiner. And then we went on with the show, and then he came on later and said, well, it's been confirmed. It's Rob Reiner and his wife that are dead. And I was like, good God. And that was before it came out that they were actually murdered. It just said that they were found dead. I didn't find out until the next morning when I was talking to my sister on the computer. Then she sent me a message that says, well, it was his son. His son's been brought in for killing Rob Reiner and his wife. I'm like, holy shit. Because, I'm 60 years old. So I was watching All in the Family with my family when it was new, new shows were coming out, and that's where I first encountered Rob Reiner as Michael Stivic, Meathead, and always really liked him, in All in the Family, and in the 80s, the early 80s, Steve Martin was a huge thing, a huge comedian. Everyone loved Steve Martin, and I was a big fan of Steve Martin. His wild and crazy guy. Excuse me. And he made several movies that were directed by Carl Reiner, Rob Reiner's father. And The Man with Two Brains, The Jerk, All of Me, I believe, several other movies Steve Martin was in that was directed by Carl Reiner. And that was Rob Reiner's father. And I think he, the Dick Van Dyke Show, he helped create, and other stuff, and then, of course, seeing Rob Reiner on All in the Family as the son-in-law, Meathead. And then I was going to Navarra College. This would be late 84, early 85. And I rented this movie, Spinal Tap. And I didn't even know that Rob Reiner had directed it. I just had heard that it's this fake documentary about a rock group, and that it looks real. I mean, it looks like it's a real rock group. You need to see it. So I watched this movie, Spinal Tap, and just instantly fell in love with it. And there's Rob Reiner. I said, hey, there's Meathead. He was chunky. He had gained weight, but there's Meathead. And then saw that he directed it. Of course, he's in the movie. And Spinal Tap. And anyone out there that hasn't seen Spinal Tap, go and solve that problem. Go see Spinal Tap. It's this fake documentary about a rock group. There was a Christopher Guest. Who all was in that? Who was the guy that played Lenny and Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley? Played Lenny. What's his name? But anyway,
yeah, Spinal Tap was a funny one, and that's speaking of Spinal Tap. Before he died, he made Spinal Tap 2, and I was kind of hoping Rob Reiner would have a little bit of a comeback.
And really, yeah, I really enjoyed Spinal Tap 2, which I guess turned out to be the last thing that he did. But here is my vinyl soundtrack that I bought. I think it was a record store in Corsicana where I was going to college. And here is still got it, my vinyl of the Spinal Tap soundtrack.
Now, is the front solid black, or does it have?
In the movie, when their record comes out, it's just black.
Okay.
And they're freaking out.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Picture, it's just black, and they're bitching about it because it's the name of the album is "Smell the Glove," and it's got like a woman dressed in like spandex leather, and then there's this gloved hand sticking in her face, and she's sniffing the glove. And they said you can't release that, and so when the album comes out, it's just this. It's just black, and.
The only thing I've been so long since I've seen it, but really the only thing I remember is just the amp. Like the scene with the amp sticks out in my mind.
Well, it goes to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to 11.
It's been so long since I've seen that. Because when I think of Rob Reiner, I think of like Stand by Me and Misery and movies like that. And I was hoping that maybe he would have had a comeback and maybe would have done more stuff like that after Spinal Tap 2, but his son had to murder him.
Well, he did The Sure Thing in '85, but then
Where He Met Sally was good too.
in '86 he did one of my favorite movies. I went to the theater and saw this when it came out, Stand by Me, and I saw it with the guy that I was rooming with in college, and we went into the theater in Corsicana and we saw Stand by Me. And I remember when we come out of the theater, I loved it. I just thought it was just great. But he was like, it was so depressing. The kids had terrible fathers and they had a miserable life. And I go, yeah, but that's the whole point, is that they banded together as friends. And that was what's great about it, is they stuck together as friends. And even though they had a shitty childhood, their friendship got them through their hardships and such.
Well, you heard the famous story to where Rob Reiner uh, talked to Stephen King, and Stephen King said that he felt like he made the characters from his book come to life. Like he was moved to tears by that film and how good Rob Reiner directed it and how well it was made.
It's based on a short story called The Body, and but yeah, retitled Stand by Me. But
Because normally Stephen King's very picky about people who make his stuff, you know, so that's a big compliment.
Then I'm not big on romantic comedies, but I really did enjoy When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, it was good for what it was. You know, one of those movies to where like what they're looking, it's a trope now, but it's cliche now, but where it's a movie to where like they're meant to be together the whole time, you know, and then they finally realize it. Yeah.
It's Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, and they're a couple, and of course, you know, they basically hate each other until they decide they love each other. But it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. It's got one of the most quotable lines in movie history. I'll have what she's having, and
You remember the scene where she's like, "Well, women fake orgasms." He's like, "What?"
and that's that. I think that's Rob Reiner's mother that has that line. I'll have what she's having. But yeah, When Harry Met Sally. And let's see, what was next? Hang on. Well, then Misery was next. And, you know,
Another Stephen King one.
He had already made Stand By Me, a Stephen King story. And I think it was Stephen King had actually came to him.
Yeah, because he
when the movie, you know, when the movie rights came out, I think Stephen King came to Rob Reiner and said, "Look, you need to do this." And he's like, "Well, really?" And so I guess he hadn't read the book, so he reads the book and he said, "Well, okay." And but
well,
yeah, Stephen King went to Rob Reiner and says, "You need to direct this."
Well, from what I understand, it just comes back to how good he was on Stand By Me with the characters, and Stephen King's concern was the fucking what's her name, Kathy Bates, that character. I forgot the actual character's name in the movie, but he wanted someone who could really like cast somebody who could do something that's really good.
Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes, yeah, and that's a great film too. And I like how Rob Reiner changed the scene. Instead of her chopping his foot off, she puts like a board and gets a hammer and like breaks the leg.
The hobbling scene. But James Caan, of course, he's in, you know, the Godfather and all that. But yeah, James Caan, Richard Farnsworth, and he plays the sheriff, you know, that old man sheriff. He's really good in it, Richard Farnsworth. But yeah, Kathy Bates, she won the Oscar for Best Actress that year for playing Annie Wilkes. Yeah, great movie. really, and Stephen King has dealt with people like this, been with fanatics, people that that this. I'm your number one fan, and of course, he hadn't dealt with someone like Misery in person, but just people that have just been overboard with their fanaticism and their, you know, reverence for somebody. Uh, Kathy says, I like Dolores Claiborne. I did too. I like Dolores Claiborne. Uh, yeah, with Kathy Bates. Another Stephen King story with Kathy Bates. Uh, let's see. Okay, what was next? Oh, A Few Good Men. You Can't
You
Handle the
can't
Truth.
handle the truth.
Jack Nicholson,
Yeah.
You Can't Handle the Truth. And Tom Cruise. Yeah, A Few Good Men. That's a good one. Good story.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just he made a lot of like iconic, memorable, quotable films. Yeah, I'll never forget that. You can't handle the truth.
yeah,
It's like a courtroom drama or something.
yeah. Uh, but anyway, I'm going through. There's a bunch of movies that I haven't seen that I'd like to see.
I want
Uh,
to watch the one. I know it sounds morbid, but the one that he made with his son that was kind of about their relationship or based on their relationship called Being Charlie or something.
Being Charlie, yeah, Being Charlie. Uh, what is it? I'm going through here. A movie called North. The American President, Ghosts of Mississippi.
The American President's all right. That's that Michael Douglas one. It's another romantic film, but it's all right.
The story, I Am Your Child, The Story of Us, Alex and Emma, Rumor Has It, The Bucket
Hey,
List.
what about The Princess Bride?
Well, yeah, The Princess Bride. That was after Stand By Me, because I had skipped over that unintentionally. But yeah, The Princess Bride. Uh, but Carrie Elways, Mandy Patinkin, Chris Sarandon, Christopher Guest. Billy Crystal plays this old man in it. I like him. Robin Wright, Peter Falk, Andre the Giant. It's a great performance by Andre the Giant in Princess Bride.
Yeah, The
Uh,
Princess Bride is like one of the. I'm not real big into the sword and sorcery kind of movies, but I really dig that one. I like The Princess Bride.
and it's Peter Falk is telling a story to his grandson at the beginning of the movie, and the kid's sick and he's in bed, and so he's telling him story. I think the kid's sick. I think he is. But anyway, he's telling him stories. So he tells him about the Princess Bride. At first, he didn't want to hear. I don't want to hear that kind of story. He said, "No, listen, you're going to like this." And so he tells the story, and the movie unfolds as the story he's telling, the Princess Bride. And yeah, I mean, it's a movie. I'm not the best audience for that kind of movie, but I still really enjoyed it. And I love Andre the Giant in it. I think he's great. Um, and Billy Crystal's a lot of fun in it.
Legend has it Andre the Giant farted for like a whole minute on set, and like he holds the record for like one of the longest farts
I,
or something.
I hadn't heard that, but
Yeah, it's legend. Yeah, apparently he took a shit on Brad News Brown while he was wrestling him too. He would fart on people during matches and stuff, and he like took a shit on Bad News Brown.
uh, but I did see this. One of the last films he did was, I guess you would kind of call it a documentary, and it's called Albert Brooks Defending My Life. And it's about the comedian Albert Brooks, was a childhood friend of Rob Reiner. They grew up being friends. Um, they were followed each other, throughout their whole career. And I always really liked Albert Brooks. I liked the movies he did. I liked him as a stand-up comedian, Albert Brooks. And basically, it's just Rob Reiner and Albert Brooks in a restaurant sitting and talking. And they show clips of Albert Brooks, throughout his career, and show clips of his movies that he directed and starred in. And that's really good. Albert Brooks defending my life.
And
And
they're like having dinner, right, or
yeah,
something.
they're having dinner and talking about Albert Brooks's career. Um, and I always really liked Albert Brooks. I always liked his stuff. Defending Your Life and all these different movies that he made. I always liked him as a comedian, a stand-up comedian. When he would appear on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, I always really liked Albert Brooks. But anyway, yeah, it's I guess you would call it a documentary, but it's basically just them at a restaurant talking about the career of Albert Brooks um, and showing various clips and stuff. But it really enjoyed it. And the last thing he did before he was brutally murdered is Spinal Tap 2. And the end continues. Spinal Tap 2, the end continues. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. It's just great seeing the same cast back together again, seeing, Rob Reiner in the movie and the guys playing Spinal Tap. It's
Tap
funny.
water.
Sir?
The tap water.
Yeah. It's most of those movies were improvised, like Spinal Tap, except for the music that was recorded and played. Most of the actual movie is just they gave a basic premise of what a scene would be, but they didn't write a script. And so it's all improvised. It's all just made up as they filmed it. And that's the case in Spinal Tap 2. It's all just made up.
Well, I only seen bits and pieces of it. I need to watch the whole thing, but I knew because the Spinal Tap movies ain't really, I guess, for me. But I was hoping that maybe Rob Reiner's career would have kind of came back and he would have made like another Misery or something.
Well,
Were you kind of in that boat too, to where you're kind of hoping that he would have made more stuff?
I tell you this, I wanted to do a Rob Reiner show before he was murdered.
I remember you brought it up, yeah.
Because I mean, we did what was it? Alfred Hitchcock and all these different directors, and I wanted to do Rob Reiner. And then finding out when I was doing that show with the Subjective Perspective Collective guys, finding out that he was murdered, or killed, or dead, I was like, holy shit, that really hit me. That usually when a celebrity dies, like Ozzy or someone, it's like, oh, that's sad. But in this case, finding out that he was just brutally stabbed to death really hit me. It's like, ugh. Because I felt like you said, I just felt like he had more to give, more to do.
Do you think his son is really crazy, like they said he was, or you think it's just because I was watching, different crime shows about it, and there's different psychiatrists that say you normally don't get diagnosed with schizophrenia in your 30s. That's usually something that shows up earlier in life. So they think that he could be faking it, or he might have had meth psychosis if he's addicted to methamphetamine, which can make you go bonkers. So because I was watching, I think it was Court TV or something, and now granted, he's not the most. I don't know if he's the most reputable person, but Dr. Drew was saying that if Nick Reiner was in meth psychosis and high on meth, he probably doesn't even remember murdering his parents. Because it wasn't just Rob Reiner who died; he killed the mom too.
Yeah, and just the way they died, being stabbed to death, is just it's so.
And
horrible.
the daughter's the one who found him because they had someone come into the house, I think, to do some kind of work or something, and they couldn't get in, and so the daughter opened the door, and the daughter found the bodies.
But anyway, yeah, he made some of what movies that you just call classics. Like I say, Misery, Stand By Me,
All bangers, pretty much.
Spinal Tap, Princess Bride. Just movies that a lot of people would just consider classics. and being from a lineage of his father Cole Reiner being this legend in comedy. It's just terrible. A terrible way to go because I feel like he had more to give, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping, like I said, I'm not the biggest Spinal Tap guy for that kind of movie, but I was hoping, well, if Spinal Tap 2 does well, maybe he'll make another Stand By Me or something, or something kind of more along those lines.
Well, like I say, that Albert Brooks show movie is really good, and so I really did enjoy Spinal Tap 2. I don't think it's as good as the original, but I really enjoyed it, and it definitely is something that you should check out. Uh,
But it's kind of a shadow. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not his fault because he didn't choose to be brutally murdered, but it does kind of put like a stain, like when you think of Rob Reiner now, it's almost like, oh yeah, he was the director got murdered by his son. Or at least that's how I think about it now, because I can't hear
I
Rob
don't, I mean,
Reiner
like I
without
say,
thinking about him being murdered.
I went and watched Spinal Tap 2 again. I watched I watched Stand By Me recently, and I didn't think about that. That really didn't, I didn't really, recur that in my mind that he was brutally murdered. I just enjoyed the movies. Um, okay. The Symphonic Chronic has got me pretty buzzed, so I think I'm going to stop with this one. But this is funnel cake ale.
I haven't tried mine yet. I gotta have mine chilled down.
Uh, and it says at the beginning, at the top, cheers, folks. Funnel cake. And I tried one of these, and I didn't think it tasted anything. Oh God, it's fizzy. I didn't think it tasted anything like funnel cake. But let me try this again here. No, it's really kind of got a bitterness to it. Not as bad as the IPA, but it's got a bitterness to it. But I certainly don't taste any kind of funnel cake or anything. It's not even really very sweet. Uh, but
Yeah, I
not bad.
forgot to put mine in the freezer or in the fridge. I gotta try mine. I
But
don't know, man.
let me read what Kathy has to say here. Sadly, Rob's son has well documented mental illness issues prior to him killing his mom and dad. They just changed his schizophrenia medication. So, yeah, sad but true. He has had a long documented crazy doc. So,
Yeah, but here's my question though: is it really? I mean, yeah, he was schizophrenic, but if you're doing methamphetamine, I don't care. I mean, because he was hyped up on meth. I don't know if it's so much as schizophrenia, because I know people with schizophrenia and they're not murdering their family. I think he was just a meth head, or it maybe interfered with his schizophrenia.
well, what
Because
is it? What was it? It was a party that Conan O'Brien had thrown the night before.
yeah, and I kind of
And
blame. I don't want to say I blame Conan, but Conan didn't want to have the police show up because he had a big party, and it's like, bro, if you would have called the cops and they would have took Nick Reiner to jail, none of this probably would have ever happened.
so it was a fight they had, was it, at this party that it
Yeah,
started?
the guy, the dude from The Office, like not Steve Carell, but the other one, the one that kind of has his hair parted all funny and with the glasses. That dude, he got into it with Nick Reiner because Nick Reiner was going up to people asking them if they were famous and staring at people and being a weirdo. And yeah, they got into a fight, and Conan didn't want the police allegedly to go up to his party, so they just left with Nick. And I mean, I don't think he's as crazy as he lets on, because he went to a hotel room to clean up. He went to he's trying to cover his bases so he can save that schizophrenia crap. I don't buy it one bit. I think he was just on fucking meth and he murdered his family. That's what, because okay, if you're schizophrenic and you don't know what you're doing is wrong, why are you going to go get a hotel room and try to clean up and then go to the gas station and get a drink? Nah. If it was up to
Well,
me,
yeah,
I'd
but
hang
if
his
you're
ass.
going to go to as far as to stab two people to death, you got to be on something. You can't be in your right mind.
Yeah,
Uh,
I understand that, but he's trying to. Oh, he's crazy. He don't know no better. It's like, no, he knew to clean up and go to a hotel room and try to lay low for a while. So I think he knew what he did was wrong.
I'm not sure if I'm
So
understanding I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question here, Kathy. She asked me, "Do y'all like mead? What is mead?"
it's an alcoholic beverage. My friend makes homemade mead. It's kind of like what they serve at Renaissance fairs. It's like a fermented
Oh yeah, and
drink.
it's like when you read like old stories that they're talking about drinking mead, and
Yeah, it's not quite like a beer, but it's that my buddy Lewis knows how to make mead. I'll see if he can make us some. But it takes a long time to make. Like he said that it took like a long time for it to ferment and stuff. But I think
is
they
it
should hang Nick Reiner. That's what I think. Go out there and hang
well?
him.
They're talking about that he may get the death penalty.
I think he should. I mean, I know Rob Reiner was a liberal and he didn't believe in the death penalty, but maybe you'd have a lot less killing if you would just execute them. And don't wait 20, 30 years. Just go out there and get it done. You know, because in this case, we know he did it. Like it ain't like it ain't like
Yeah,
you don't know or do know. But even if he is found not guilty, he's going to be in a mental institution probably for the rest of his life. It's just it's a sad situation. But I'm not buying his crazy act because I've worked with people with schizophrenia. I know people with it, and they're not murderers. They just
yeah.
kind of talk to themselves.
Uh, but okay, well, anybody out there that's watching, if you have any comments or questions, because
Comments or questions,
I'm no hurry
man?
to finish. I'm no hurry to wrap this up, but please hit that thumbs up. I say that every show, but please go to that thumbs up. Hit
Man,
that thumbs up.
I'm hoping that we can be able to catch one of the Heart of Texas wrestling shows. 'Cause I know you don't really watch wrestling, but it's fun to go in person. I
I
like
know
going. It's
I would
fun.
enjoy going to anything live like that. I would enjoy. So,
Yeah, it's cool. I like wrestling. WrestleMania is going to be coming up. Randy Orton beat up Cody Rhodes. He was all bloody and stuff. And I'm tired of Cody Rhodes. I want Cody Rhodes to. I'm glad someone kicked old Booger Red's ass. Tired of old Cody Rhodes. UFC's on tonight. I don't know if you ever watched that, like the mixed martial arts, like the UFC fights.
no, I don't.
Dude, there's a documentary. They made a movie with The Rock called The Smashing Machine, but it's based on a documentary HBO did called The Smashing Machine about Mark Kerr.
I
And
still
dude, that's
haven't
a
seen
really
the
good
movie. I want to go and watch that
dude.
movie. It's streaming.
Watch the documentary, dude, because the documentary is really good. It's like, and I love those kind of documentaries where they follow the fighters around. And yeah, it was crazy because I haven't seen the film yet, but they make the wife look like she's like a saint, but she was worse on drugs than the fighter Mark Kerr was. And to be honest with you, I think she was kind of, I don't know, she was bad for him. Like that's all I'm saying. Where they're bad for each other, and even like Boss Rutan, who's a UFC Hall of Famer, and at the time he was training him, was like, man, you got to get off them drugs, and y'all can't be coming like. So it went from being like a sports documentary about mixed martial arts to them just being on drugs and like a drug documentary and trying to get clean and like they go at his house and are like, is this all the drugs? And he's like, no, there's more. And it's just like so many like little vials of whatever he was shooting up and pills, and it's a crazy documentary, but it's a good one. It's a real good one.
What is
So
the name?
hopefully the
What is the name of the
the
documentary
Smashing
again?
Machine. It's a
Oh,
HBO Sports, The Smashing Machine.
oh, okay. Because like I
And
say, the movie's streaming, and I haven't seen it yet. I want to
yeah,
see it
now I heard the movie's good with The Rock,
with The
but they
Rock.
made the wife look like she was a saint, from what I understand. But in the movie, she's probably one of the big reasons he was so fucked up on drugs. And Mark Kerr was a good fighter back in the day. He would tear people up, and it's funny because I was watching a behind the scenes thing about when they made the documentary. His buddy Mark Coleman, they were fighting in this tournament, and they were hoping so bad that Mark Coleman would win, so it'd be Mark Kerr and Mark Coleman to tell the story in the documentary. But Mark Coleman lost, and they're like, "Fuck." But it's a good doc. I mean, if you like those kind of things, or
I just like
you said you
I
saw
watch
you said you
documentary
saw
like that.
you said you saw the Von Erichs wrestle. There's a good documentary called "Heroes of World Class Championship Wrestling" where it talks about the promotion and and all the deaths and stuff like that. And I just kind of I like those kind of like wrestling or boxing documentaries where they follow them around. Like even like on Paramount Plus, like before they do the UFC fights, they'll do like where they follow them around through the training camp and stuff. And I like that kind of stuff. It's cool.
I need to see it again. I saw it was a couple of years ago. There's a documentary about Muhammad Ali that I really liked, and it covered his whole career. But I really
Was
did.
it was it made in like the 90s?
I don't know. It was made pretty recently, I think.
Okay,
It was
I
maybe
seen
last
one.
year.
I
Uh,
seen one to where I think it was made in the 90s, and it was a very good documentary, but it was so sad because he was starting to kind of get kind of with Parkinson's or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But
Yeah.
this one was, I think, it was fairly recent. That it was the last few years, last 4 or 5 years, it was made. But I really enjoyed it. I needed to look at. I forget what it was called, but it was about Muhammad Ali and about his whole career. Uh,
Well,
and
Muhammad Ali was, dude, there's that story to where he won the Olympic gold medal and he wanted to go into a restaurant and they wouldn't let the other black people in, but they're like, well, you won the Olympic medal, we'll let you in. And he left because he's like, well, if you won't let the other black people in, it's kind of mess, you know what I'm saying? So he took the Olympic medal and threw it in the river, and people been looking for that Olympic medal in that river for years.
I watched of course the movie with Will Smith. Um, I watched that recently. I hadn't seen that since it came out,
Oh,
which
Will Smith did a damn good job in
yeah,
that.
20 something years ago. I haven't seen it, but I finally rewatched it and really enjoyed it. But
Have you
yeah, the
seen that
movie,
movie? It was called The Hurricane. It was about that boxer. I forgot his name, but he was the Hurricane, and he was like falsely accused of murdering somebody,
yeah, yeah.
and it was Denzel Washington, and like yeah, that was a good one. Um, a wrestling one is the Iron Claw. That movie's amazing,
I really
and then
like the
there's
Iron
the
Claw. It's
and then
so
there's the
depressing. It's so
'80s,
sad though.
and then there's the '80s wrestler that has Dusty Rhodes and all the wrestlers in it, and it's kind of like it's like a fun little B movie. But there's a real good documentary. I had a DVD. It was a 3 disc set. I think you actually talked to Roddy Piper about that documentary that WWE did
Yeah,
about his life. That was a really
there's
good documentary
I
too.
say there's a 2 disc set of Roddy Piper that I got 25 years ago, whatever. But it was DVD, 2 DVDs. But the first DVD is just like a documentary about Roddy Piper, and I just like documentaries. I'll watch documentaries about anything, even if I don't watch wrestling. I'll watch documentaries about wrestling and really enjoy it because I just like documentaries. And when I was at the Frightmare weekend with Roddy Piper, they had closed the show down for the public, but there were still the guests were still at their tables and they were cleaning up and putting their stuff up and stuff. So I would go around and I'd just talk to whoever would want to talk to me. I didn't bug anybody, but if someone that seemed open to talking, I'd go talk to them. So uh, you know, I went up and walked up to Roddy Piper's table, and I was like, "Hello, sir. Hey, how you doing?" He was real nice, and I said, "I just want to let you know I really enjoyed that documentary on that 2 DVD set. I really enjoyed that documentary about you. I love documentaries." He goes, "Oh well, I appreciate that." I said, He told me, he said, "I love documentaries about the Civil War. That's my big thing is watching documentaries about the Civil War." And we had a little chat. And it was so cool just to talk with Roddy, just to shoot the shit with Roddy Piper, and just have this casual conversation. And he was so cool, so nice. And of course, he passed away just a few years after that. But
Yeah, dude. There's a series called Dark Side of the Ring that Vice does, and they have some of them on Tubi. Man, you got to watch Dark Side of the Ring. You would love that because there's so much wacky, screwed up crap that happened in wrestling, especially wrestling for some reason. Like I don't know wrestling, and I notice like music documentaries. There's always dark, bad things that happen, like murders and suicides and drug overdoses, and it's crazy. And like there's one called about it's called Living in the Shadow of Grizzly Smith or something, It's about Jake the Snake Roberts. And it gets real dark because Grizzly Smith, his dad, was like a child molester that would abuse Jake the Snake as a kid and other kids, but no one would do anything because he was famous in the town, and he just basically he got away with it, and people who tried to speak out against Grizzly Smith got fired or blackballed, and he was friends with the police, and it was just a real messed up documentary on Dark Side of the Ring about how Grizzly Smith he got away with just being a piece of shit. And then the next episode was one about Owen Hart, who died. They had him come down from the ceiling, but they didn't rig him right, so it broke and he fell to his death from the roof of the ceiling. And it's about the lawsuit with that. And then the Chris Benoit murders. There's about that, and there's a good one about the Von Erichs and the Graham family, to where they're both very similar about everyone in the family committing suicides, and it's called Dark Side of the Ring. It's just like different topics that are really good.
Would it be like on YouTube, Dark Side of the Ring?
They have it on Tubi. Some of it's on Tubi. Some of it's on YouTube. There's one about Mick Foley, who is Mankind.
Let me write that down.
But yeah, dude, Mick Foley, who is Mankind, who did a lot of the hardcore wrestling, and his body's real broken down, and he had a lot of concussions, so he can't really remember stuff. And it was just, yeah, it's crazy. It sounds dark, but it's real sad because he's a real nice guy, but a lot of people don't realize is even though wrestling is scripted, it's still hard on the body. And at the end of the documentary, he's trying to like do his memory stuff because he had so many concussions that he was having memory issues. And then there was one I was really sad about, Chris Canyon, who killed himself, but he was gay, but he was in the closet or whatever. Or, I don't know. Some people said he was gay. Some people say he was bisexual because he did date women too and shit. But like, he couldn't really accept who he was, and he ended up like killing himself. And then there's one dude, Dino Bravo, who got killed by the mob because he was part of the mafia in Canada, and he got gunned down. And there's a Dark Side of the Ring about that.
Huh.
I'll tell you, it sounds depressing as hell, but I binged them. I watched one. I was like, oh, wow. The next thing I watched another one.
I just love documentaries about any kind of subject.
And then there was one documentary about this guy. He always wore a mask when he wrestled. He fell on hard times and robbed a bank and didn't wear a fucking mask. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good documentary. It's called Dark Side of the Ring. It's Vice produced them. They're very good.
I wrote it down, yeah. And
yeah, I think you would enjoy them, especially since
Tubi would have it.
Yeah, and especially since you actually saw the Von Erichs wrestle and stuff. The documentary they did on them was really good too. The Macho Man one was pretty good as well.
I tell you another person that I talked to that same night that I talked to Roddy Piper. Of all people, Tracy Lords.
Tracy Lords?
Tracy Lords. And she was a guest there. And she was at her table and she was cleaning up and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't want to bug her. I'm not gonna bug her. But I kind of walked up to her table and she goes, hey, you enjoyed the weekend? And I said, yeah, yes, ma'am. I said, I got a table here. I've got a little movie that I made, a little independent film, Dawn I was promoting, It's all cool, And we just said a few words to each other, but I was like, I can't believe I'm talking to Tracy Lords. And, there was a guy at the local video store that he wouldn't charge you for it, but he had tapes of Tracy Lords movies that he'd kind of give you under the table, where you bring it back in a couple of days, because it was illegal to have a Tracy Lords movie because she was underage when she made porn. And that just pretty much disrupted the whole porn industry at the time. It just there's people who went to prison for it because she was underage. She had lied about her age. She was like 15 or 16 years old,
she did porn, but she lied about her age?
Yeah, she lied about her age.
They didn't do background checks? They don't check into that?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. But it came, it the truth was revealed, and there was a big deal back then. Of course, this was like what the mid '70s, that kind of thing. Um, but it was a big deal at the time because she was underage and she was making porn. Um, but then, of course, she made movies, legitimate movies,
Okay,
Uh,
I didn't know she did porn. I thought she just did a couple horror movies and
no,
shit.
that's how she started, was in porn, and that's how she became famous, was in porn.
Well, did you know when they filmed Friday the 13th Part 2, they had to destroy some of the footage and it was a big legal thing because that girl lied about her age too?
Huh.
The one where Jason spears him through the bed. And I was like, damn, Paramount they don't do like a background check or they don't double check before they start filming? Like,
That
yeah,
night,
apparently.
when we got back, Friday the 13th, I watched New Beginning. I watched New
I
Beginning.
watched the original last night. And I mean, I like the original Friday the 13th. But it would have been nice to have Mrs. Voorhees maybe like at least be at the camp or whatever, because I feel like it's a who done it, but it cheats because Mrs. Voorhees just pops up at the end of the movie, and you're like, who the fuck is
Yeah,
this?
but also there's just she hangs a guy up on a door and all that. This old woman,
Arrows all in them.
you know, this old
Hey,
woman's gonna hang this guy up on a door, uh, and
maybe she's strong, you know.
it's like unbelievable that she killed all these people. This old woman, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy Friday the 13th.
Throws that girl through the window.
Um, no, I enjoy it. Um,
Look what you did to him. Kill her, mommy. Kill her. I love that movie. Are you excited for that Crystal Lake TV show?
I'm not excited at all about it. I'll check it out, but I'm not excited about it.
I hope it's
No,
about I hope it's about Mrs. Voorhees and not so because god dang man, like that's the only way you could really make that stretch out, you know? Because I mean, there's a reason why those movies are about 95 minutes, you know?
I'm more interested in the Texas Chainsaw series because I think that would be a good basis for a series. Is the Chainsaw family? What was it? The Sawyer family? I think that would be a good basis for a series.
Well,
Um,
it'd be interesting to see how the town I guess dried up and how they came to be. Yeah, or how because they run that gas station and there's a Coke machine out there and stuff and gas. So like, how do they hide it from vendors or stuff, or how do they keep people from like figuring out what they're doing? Or like the
yeah,
grandpa, like my friend at work was like, man, I want to know about the grandpa. That's the one I could like because to him that was the most interesting character was the grandpa. Oh, excuse me, that you think is dead, but then you kind of see him move and he's sucking the blood out of her finger and he's like.
hit her with the hammer. We can hold that hammer.
Hit her, grandpa, hit her.
That was
But
one of the most memorable experiences in a movie theater was seeing that with you. To see that on a big screen. I don't know if it was
and the
on IMAX
movie
screen, but it was a big screen.
And the movie still works because I was watching some of the people next to us and kind of above us, and they were reacting like they were freaked out, you know. And we were laughing when Grandpa was dropping the hammer, but there's like a teenage couple on Jay's side. They looked at us like we're fucking crazy people. They're like, "Hey, how?" I thought it was funny because they're like, "Hit her, Grandpa." And he's like, he drops the hammer.
Really, I've seen that movie 2 dozen times, but seeing it on a big screen, it was the funniest time
And he's the scariest
I've
too.
seen that movie, and it's the scariest time I've seen that movie. Um, it was at its funniest and at its scariest on that big old screen. And it was a great print. And the sound was remastered and it sounded great. Um, that was the best version of the movie that I've seen. Was seeing it in the theater.
And it was cool that they showed a little bit of that documentary at the end too, and they showed some clips.
Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, and they showed some clips from Nosferatu and how he was comparing the two films, and I would have never even thought of comparing those two. But like, if you ever watch that Chain Reactions documentary, it makes sense, you know,
And
how he described
after
it.
seeing that bit with Nosferatu, I was like, man, that would be a movie I'd love to see on a big screen on a theater in a theater. Is Nosferatu?
Man, what I don't understand is why the Waco Hippodrome or something doesn't show a movie like that and have like the Waco Symphony Orchestra or something like do the music live. Like, how cool would that be?
Just had someone at the piano playing a piano.
Yeah, or piano or an organ or something, you know, where there's like, yeah, it was there's a or what I would do, like if I owned a venue, I would want to have a heavy metal band play heavy metal music while Haxon Witchcraft Through the Ages is playing. Which, if y'all haven't seen Haxon Witchcraft Through the Ages, that's like one of the best movies I think I ever seen.
That's what
I'd
never seen that until Brandon brought it up, and I went and watched it. Yeah,
and I watch it with I have a good bless you. I have a good DVD that Kino did, and it had the Czech Symphony Orchestra or whatever do it. But what I do is when I watch it, I listen to like heavy metal music.
Well, that's what I did because you had suggested that. So I played like Black Sabbath, you know, and Ozzy and Black Sabbath, and you know, I played that while I watched the movie. You know.
And at the end of the movie, it's like, I think it's supposed to be slut, but it's like slut.
Slut, yeah. And it's a big words that flash on the screen. Slut. And it's almost like the movie is calling me a slut. You know, it's like
there's a version that NBC had where they had William Burroughs narrate it. And that's a good watch too, but I prefer the silent film because it has more scenes in it and it fits the heavy metal better. And it says slut. The NBC one said Finn. Bullshit. I want that slut at the end of the movie.
But that's what it says in big letters. Slut. 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 And it's just like, oh God, this movie's calling me names.
And Pazuzu's in it too. If you watch at the very beginning of the movie, we're showing like it starts off almost like a with still images and like a dude like with the pointer and stuff, and you'll see little Pazuzu before like the movie starts, like the Pazuzu head that was later used in The Exorcist.
And the damn demon or devil in it is so creepy. The makeup on that
turning butter. So I have a question. So like the devil, like there are naked women in the movie, and like the demons are kissing and stuff, and the devil has like a turn butter, and he's like going like this. So is the devil like? Is that him like whacking it?
It seemed like they would be symbolic of masturbation, you know, doing that.
That's what I thought it was. And then like there's that scene with the priest. I've been bad, whip me. He's like whipping him. And then the devil's gonna have an affair this woman, and he bangs on the door, and the woman's sleeping, and she goes back to bed. And he's like, and then she sleeps with the devil.
Well,
it was crazy.
I'm finishing up the funnel cake. It got a little, as I'm drinking it, it got a little sweeter, but it doesn't taste like funnel cake. But after drinking the Symphonic Chronic and the funnel cake, I'm pretty buzzed. I'm going to stop with these two.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that funnel cake one on the next show. It's just, man, if it's not too sweet, I think I'll like it. It's like sickly sweet stuff can kind of.
To me, it's barely sweet. I wouldn't even call it sweet. It actually has a bitterness to it. Not as bad as not as bitter as the IPA, but it's still kind of bitter. But
yeah, dude, a lot of those craft beers, man, they really do, they love to hop them up. You know, that's what makes it so bitter is the hops.
That Symphonic Chronic gave me a pretty good buzz, you know, when I finished that.
Dude, you know what's good to watch? I like listening to that song "Burn in Hell" when they're doing the Black Master and Haxon Witchcraft Through the Ages. But that Captain Howdy song you showed me would be good too. Captain Howdy. He's all in there. They're at the Black Mass dancing and cooking babies or whatever they're doing.
When we're heading to Waco, I'll play music on my cell phone. And what do we listen to? We listen to the Down with the Sickness. The two versions of that. There's a version on the remake of Dawn of the Dead, that kind of slow ballad version of Down with the Sickness. Played the original version.
We listen to everything. It goes from like classic country to rock
we
to
to
weird stuff.
The Johnny Cash song in that Dawn of the Dead.
You remember that Red Sovine? I sent it to sent that one song to Rambo Raft to review, and he thought it was funny. But Jay, you're like, damn, I want to kill what the kid on Christmas that dies in Santa's arms.
Now, what was it? What was this now?
We were listening to the Red Sovine songs, and every one was about someone dying, and like the kid dies in Santa's arms. Yeah, it was a song called Billy's Christmas Wish, and he dies in Santa's arms. And then the next one was called Little Rosa, about a kid dying. And then there's one about his wife. You think his wife's calling him on the phone, and she fucking dies.
You speaking of Red Sovine, let me show you some records, because we usually go to Half Price Books in Waco. And I tried to sell some DVDs. I got a shitload of DVDs. I got this big old crate of DVDs. And they were buying that day. I got $16 for like a little stack. But she was bitching that they were dirty. He said, well, they were dirty. There was like bugs on them and stuff. And I'm looking at them. I said, they're not that dirty. I'm not seeing bugs. I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to wipe them down and clean them up. And I've got a bunch more DVDs I can take up there, in addition to all those. But, yeah, I at least pay for my movie ticket for Undertone. But we usually go to Half Price Books. I look through the records. I got the soundtrack to Manhattan, the Woody Allen movie. And it's a Gershwin music. It's like, old classical music.
Woody Allen.
I got a Monty Python record. I love Monty Python, but it's got old Monty Python sketches. I think mainly live stuff that they did. Slim Whitman. Yeah, Slim Whitman. He was a soprano, got a very high pitched voice. My mother and dad used to go to something called the I'm a little drunk here, the Louisiana Hayride, and they would see the pretty famous people, singers, but one of them was Slim Whitman, and my mother couldn't stand Slim Whitman, but my dad liked Slim Whitman. So when Slim Whitman would come to sing, she would go to get her popcorn or a drink or something, and Dad would watch Slim Whitman because he likes Slim Whitman. But he's a very high-pitched singer, soprano. I like Slim Whitman. And Ernest Tubb, I saw live with my dad at the Cowboy Club here in Mejia. His most famous song is Walking the Floor Over You. I'm walking the floor over you. But anyway, I like Ernest Tubb. And here he sings, let's see. He sings with Willie Nelson and George Jones and Loretta Lynn and Johnny Cash and Charlie Daniels and Charlie Rich. Yeah.
We need to go back to that one record store, because man, every time I go looking for records, I can never find a Jimmy Webb album ever. And he's like, yeah, I got one of them. And so we need to try to go back there, see if he got some more kind of harder to find stuff.
I thought his prices were too high.
Yeah, but he had a good selection though.
But anyway, Brandon brought up Red Sovine, and
Is he dressed for a funeral? Is he wearing a suit because he's going to a funeral? Because all his songs are about people dying.
The thing about Red Sovine is that most of his songs, he's just talking. He's not
He's
singing.
just talking.
He's talking. And in most of his songs, somebody winds up dead. Somebody dies usually in his songs. Not every song, but in most of his songs,
Or
somebody dies.
or he's all like, or it's something depressing, or it's like the little crippled boy was on the CB and he wanted to see some trucks, and he said his daddy died or whatever. Like,
What is it? The kid that goes to visit Santa Claus, he's like
he dies in Santa Claus's arms.
he's
He's
like
all like, I have no food.
he's like a supermarket Santa, and so he goes and sits on Santa's lap, and he's saying, "Well, I'm a bad boy. I shouldn't be here, Santa. I don't deserve anything, Santa. I'm a bad boy." And talking about how his mother, and his mother and his father
So,
don't like. And anyway, he winds up dying in the Santa's lap.
he's like, my daddy lives in prison because she killed. He said, the boy said, my daddy lives in prison because he killed Mama's boyfriend. Mama's new boyfriend drinks beer and says I get in the way and he cusses. I sleep in empty cars I find and I'm barefoot. And then
At the end of the song, the kid fucking dies.
well, my favorite Red Sovine song is the one that everyone thinks it's a Johnny Paycheck original, but it's not. It's called Colorado Kool-Aid, where he's like, I was sitting in a beer joint, drinking Colorado Kool-Aid and talking to Mexicans.
Well,
And then he.
when I was a kid, the big song from Red Sovine, my daddy really liked it, was "Giddy Up Go."
That's a sad one too. I mean, it's kind of happy at the end, but it's like, and then one day, my wife and son were gone for years, and I finally seen them.
Giddy up, go, daddy! Giddy up, go! My daddy really liked that song. He likes Red Sovine, but yeah, in most of his songs, somebody winds up dead, and his style was. There's a few songs where he kind of sings, but most of them he's just sort of talking. He's just sort of just narrating the songs. Um, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was all like, and then I got a phone call on the telephone. Everything seemed good. And it was my wife, and I noticed she had wings and a halo, and she died and left me, but she said goodbye. It's like, because we listened on the trip. We were going to the theater, leaving my hair. Like, we're listening to a couple. I was like, God damn, everyone's about someone dying.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's sad. But it's funny.
I wasn't trying to laugh at this because the first time I heard the Santa Claus one, that shit made me that made me cry. I was depressed. But then after I heard it the second time, it was just like, dude, it's kind of like a black joke or something, or like a dark comedy. He said he sleeps in cars that he can find, barefoot and scrawny. And then he said he died in Santa's lap. And nobody was laughing. He stole their Christmas joy.
Well, okay. I guess we're gonna kind of wind up here. Let me tell you guys: make you some popcorn and sprinkle ramen seasoning on top of the popcorn, and it's like the best thing you've ever tasted. Man, that's good shit. I could eat this all day. Ramen popcorn. And yeah, we talked about the movies we saw. And
did you want to talk about the Big Arch Mill?
Oh, Rick! Oh yeah, Big Arch. Now, when we were heading to go see the bride, I said, "Will you go by the McDonald's drive-through? I want to try this Big Arch burger." because that was the talk of the town at the time. The Big Arch Burger, and basically it's like a Big Mac times two. You know, I
Ooh,
said,
it
well,
made my belly. I got one before because I was still full, and I seen the size of it, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'll try that. And I ate it, and it was delicious. But man, my stomach was so heavy, I didn't even eat breakfast the next day, dude.
so we went to
'Cause
the drive-through, and I ordered the Big Arch meal, which is the Big Arch burger, fries, and a drink, a medium drink, and it was $17. You know, and I said, well, that's kind of pricey. And when I got she through the window, she handed Brandon the sack, and he handed it to me, and it's like it weighed like 4 pounds. I said, man, that's heavy. And then I saw the damn burger. I said, oh shit. So I didn't start eating it until we started setting off for Waco, and we were like in Belmead, which is a town right next to Waco. I didn't finish that burger until we got to Belmead. That's how big it was, and
yeah, and
it was
normally
good. I enjoyed it, but
see,
man,
I was skeptical because normally McDonald's burgers are small, but this thing was big. They need to keep up the good work on that, man. It kept me full for like I didn't eat breakfast. I'm like, God dang, I'm still full from that because I got the fries and shit too, and I was like, I'm still full from it.
and when Brandon got it, it was like $3 less than what I paid for it.
Yeah, maybe it's because I don't know. I don't know why they charge more in Mahia for it. I don't know.
But
It could be because I use rewards. I have that McDonald's app. It might have knocked some money off. I don't know. But yeah, dude, it's definitely it's a heart attack on a bun, and that's the way it should be. If you got
it's over 1,000 calories. Um,
yeah,
it,
my
it's a,
sister ate it, and they like to watch themselves, and they're all like, "Man, I shouldn't have ate this because how much calories are in it." Did you see the McDonald's CEO who had the burger? And he's like, "I'm gonna take a bite." He looked like he didn't want to even eat it, like he was grossed out by it, and he took like a little nibble. He was like, "Eh."
ah,
So what's in that thing that he knows about that we don't know about?
I don't know. Who knows what they put in that shit, you know? But it was good. I enjoyed it. I would eat it again, but I didn't care for the price. I didn't pay for like maybe 20
Yeah, if it
bucks
was
for
a
that
little
burger.
cheaper, but also at the same time, like I know I'm trying to eat better. I don't eat hog head cheese as much as I used to, but I need to watch my fried chicken and stuff. But I do eat a lot of sausage and I had a couple of those big arches, so I need to kind of slow down and try to eat more healthier because that shit that ain't good for you, you know. But it's
No, I mean
delicious.
that's something you just very occasionally, you know. Uh,
Man, it made me boo boo though. I don't know about you, but it made me boo boo like a lot.
eh, I wouldn't say that. Well, I won't go into detail, but yeah, it went through me all right.
Man, I
Uh,
was shitting like a goose.
Speaking of goose, before we headed to go see Undertone, you said you had a goose egg.
Yeah, I have a friend that has like a ranch. It's called the Moon Ranch, and she gave me a goose egg. The thing was about as big as the palm of my hand, and that it kept me full. It kept me full all day. I'm gonna see if I can get some more goose eggs. I'll bring you one. Google said fry it sunny side up, but when you crack the egg, it's it's so thick. You have to be kind of. It was hard to kind of crack the egg. But it also said some people boil them, like soft boil them, but you don't
what
want to hard boil them. You don't want to ruin the yolk.
what was the color? The color was it like yellow or
Yeah,
orange?
it was. It looked like just a giant egg, but it was sweeter. It had a sweeter, more richer taste to the yolk,
Huh.
and it was. Yeah, like I said, if you need some eggs, I can get you some farm fresh eggs because those are, to me, those are the best eggs. Are the farm fresh ones. And
I
every once in a while, I'll get some duck eggs. I'll get some duck eggs from her. But that goose egg was delicious, man.
definitely would. Yeah, I would definitely would eat those because before I go to bed tonight, I'll probably make me a fried egg
You
sandwich.
know,
I
we
usually do
we
that on
always
Sunday.
called goose eggs when I was a kid when you hit your head and got a knot. and there's a new boxing league called Zuffa Boxing on Paramount Plus, and this guy had a big old goose egg on his head, and Dana White, who's the promoter, is like, "Yeah, we're trying to get him to go to the hospital. I hope he listens because that thing is freaking me out." He had a big old knot on his head. But yeah, before we go, there's the GoFundMe link beneath me right there. If anyone has anything they can give for Tony, who's out of work, 'cause he had a stroke and he had to have some of his toes amputated. Just click that link or go to that link, and just any little bit helps. Hell, even if it's like $5, $5,
Yeah, like I say,
$10, 20.
any amount would add up.
Yeah, because man, that's rough, and especially with how bad the economy is, and things are going to go up because of World War III. Help a brother out. Do you want to speak on that before we leave? Are you scared? Because I'm worried about
Uh,
World War III. I really am.
I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to it. I've got the damn scratchy throat again. I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to it, but it's like we're bombing, we're bombing more sites. Uh,
We're losing though, from what I understand. Now, Fox News made it sound like we were winning, but then even like Tucker Carlson, who's like like he used to be a hardcore Republican, he's like, "No, this is bad. We shouldn't be there. We're
well, yeah,
losing,"
because
and it's getting.
we get oil from that area, and so we're going to have to use our oil reserves to compensate for
No, it's
that.
gone. They never refilled it.
Oh well, there you go.
So there you go. So yeah, it's bad, and it's like that Men at Work song. It's a mistake. You never just say it's a mistake. Yeah, it was a mistake. No.
Like I say, I don't talk politics. I don't understand politics, but I'm concerned. I'm hoping when November comes around that there's some changes are going to be made. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers. Yeah.
Hopefully,
So
we'll be alive to do another show.
hopefully we're alive to get to November. But yeah, I don't really talk politics or talk. I don't talk about Trump. I don't, yay or nay. I don't talk about him. I definitely have opinions about him, but I don't talk about him. But
Yeah, I'm just saying, like that been keeping me up at night. I think it's going to be bad. So hopefully, we'll still be alive for when we can do another show.
I hope so. But okay, I guess we're going to wind up here. Stick with me here, Brandon. But I'm going to sign off here to the public. Please, if you've enjoyed what you're seeing, please hit that thumbs up. And please spread the word. Let folks know if you're enjoying the show. Please let folks know about the show.
Share it too. Like it, share it.
If you like it, if you can share it, that would be great. If you can share the link. But please hit the thumbs up. And we sure appreciate everyone that's commented. Thank you, Kathy. And what was it, Daniel? And yeah, thank you, everyone that's chimed in tonight. And please keep watching. And we will see you guys soon. And hopefully we'll make it through tomorrow with that wind advisory and all that crap coming in.
Why is the world just seems crazy? We got the crazy storm coming. We're going from like 90 degrees to what it says. It's going to feel like 20 something.
Yeah, from 90 to
but
30.
A wind chill of, but a wind chill of like you said 20.
Yeah, the wind chills in the 20s. And from 90 degrees to wind chills in the 20s.
Oh man, and we got World War III happening. We're screwed, man. Game over.
We keep going to see movies. That's our escape, is seeing movies. Okay, guys.
If we can afford it.
We will see you soon, and y'all have a good one. And we sure appreciate it.
Sure do.